should you rent a Tesla to drive for Uber and Lyft? In some cases, yes, but in other cases, no. Now, first off, here is an article. As you can see, Uber drivers are liking the Teslas. The ride-hailing company announced over 15,000 drivers signed up to rent Teslas through its partnership with Hertz. I've gotten a lot of comments and questions on this channel about renting a Tesla, which is why I wanted to do this video. And as you can see, Uber's plan to electrify its driver's fleet by 2030 seems to be off to a good start because of this partnership. Now let's get into the numbers. I think that's the biggest thing. I've already done a bunch of videos about renting a car for Uber and Lyft and everything. So let's go up here first off. As you can see, when it comes to Uber, weekly rentals as low as $260 a week. So keep in mind, when you do rent a car to drive for Uber or for Lyft, it's gonna be minimum about $240, $250 a week, or about $1,000 a month. There are different pricing models, so if I go to view rental options, you'll see this here, where I have the Tesla, which I'll show you in a second, but I have Hive, Hertz, and these are different ones. As you can see, the price is always fluctuating. This also depends on your area and a lot of other factors, but as you can see, a lot of these are around $260 a week, or minimum $1,000 a month, actually a little bit more than $1,000. So keep in mind, like I've said in other videos, you're starting off, negative $260, for example, in the hole. If you make $260 in a week, you're just breaking even. Anything past that, of course, is profit, but keep in mind that you are starting in the red, essentially, when doing this. Now going to the Tesla. Is it worth it or not? I think it depends on a few different factors. To give you a quick answer, my answer is, if you're planning on driving a lot, it is potentially worth it. If you're gonna be driving casually or not that much, I don't think it's worth it. Because first off, as you can see, rent a Tesla for $334 a week. So I'm already starting off by spending $334 every week. And I have to drive a lot just to break even. And then of course, like I said, anything past that is profit. There are a couple advantages though of having a Tesla. One is you get the zero emissions incentive. Drivers of fully electric vehicles earn an extra $1 on every Uber trip, up to $4,000 annually. So I'm making this up, but let's say if you plan to do 80 rides a week, well, you're getting an extra $80 a week. So if you do, let's say 334 minus 80, you get 254. Well, that's kind of comparable to these cars right here, right? If anything, it's actually a little bit cheaper. So that can add up because you're getting an extra $1 per ride. That can add up pretty fast, and it might be cheaper overall for you than having and renting a normal vehicle, or normal, I'll put that in quotation marks. Another thing is gas. Right now, at the exact time in this video, gas is very expensive. This obviously depends what area you're in. Here in LA, it's outrageous. And as it says right here, you could save an average of $50 to $100 per week on fuel by driving an EV or an electric vehicle. Let's say you live here in LA or another city where gas is super expensive. You could save, let's say, potentially $100 per week. And again, let's use that example again. Like you're doing 80 rides a week, you're saving $100 in gas. You're getting an extra $80 a week because you're doing 80 rides a week and you get $1 per ride. If you do the math out, that's like you saving about $180 because you have the Tesla as opposed to another rental vehicle. So that may be significantly cheaper having the Tesla. These are all things you need to factor into. And as you can see from this quick math, the more you drive, the more Tesla is definitely worth it. The less you're going to be planning on driving, the less a Tesla is worth it. I think if you're going to be getting a Tesla, I mean, like, look, I want to rent a Tesla, I want to go all out, be prepared that this is really going to be worth it the more you drive. I mean, that's true for any rental vehicle, right? But I think especially for the Tesla, looking at all the numbers, the more you drive, the more you're going to make, and the less money you're going to have to spend, so to speak, with everything considered. Now, if I go back to the marketplace and click here, and this is a big thing to always look at, what Uber services is this vehicle compatible with? As you can see, we have UberX, of course, Uber Electric Comfort, and Uber Green. I'm going to be honest, even though, yes, it does qualify for Uber Green and Uber Comfort, or in this case, Uber Electric Comfort, I don't think those are as popular as another service. Uber Comfort, I'm not going to lie, you're not going to get that many comfort rides. You might get some here and there, but most of them are going to be UberX Uber Green, a lot of people don't even know about Uber Green. In case you don't know, with Uber Green, any ride that you take with Uber Green is going to be a green vehicle, hence the name. So a Prius, Tesla, something along those lines. Going down here, the requirements. Keep in mind, you must have completed 150 trips with Uber and maintain a driver rating of at least 4.85. A Hertz representative at the rental car facility may ask you to show your lifetime completed trips and star rating in the driver app to verify you are eligible to rent a Tesla. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'm thinking about driving for Uber and Lyft, I really like Teslas, I want to have a Tesla and drive, you may have to go with another rental option, do 150 trips, get a very high rating, at least 4.85 or higher, and then switch over to the Tesla. Just keep that in mind. And then lastly, as you can see here, these are the big things when it comes to earning more. Like I said, the zero emission incentive, saving on gas, and then Uber Comfort. Again, I know it mentions Uber Comfort. You may get those rides here and there, but the bulk of your rides are going to be UberX. Couple things I want to say before I finish off with this video. First off is remember, like I've said numerous times, you're starting in the hole. And I think when it comes to Teslas specifically, it's even deeper in the red. Yes, getting an extra dollar per ride, great. Saving all that money on gas, awesome. But you're starting off with spending minimum about $1,300 a month. If you're not going to be driving that much and you're doing it casually, and that Tesla is going to be sitting there in your driveway or on the street just collecting dust, not the best situation you want to be in. And if anything, you're going to be spending a lot of money and time just to drive people around. And who knows? Like I said, let's say you make $1,200 in 1 month driving with the Tesla, you're technically making, really losing, $100. Another thing I want to talk about is the zero emission incentive. Yes, it is awesome that you can be getting an extra dollar per ride, and that adds up. However, remember it's a cap at $4,000 annually. If you do the math out, 4,000 divided by 52, that comes out to be about 77 rides per week. Anything past 77 rides in 1 week, you're actually not going to be getting that dollar per se. Like I said in the example before, if you're doing 80 rides a week, you're doing that every week, so 80 times 52, you're actually going to be going over 4,000 rides, which means you're not going to be getting any extra money past 4,000. So 4,000 rides in a year or $4,000 is the max amount when it comes to the zero emissions incentive. Last thing I want to talk about is the gas. Of course, you're going to be saving a lot of money on gas by having a Tesla, but it all comes down to how much you drive. This video could be very numbers heavy. I know I kind of threw out a bunch of numbers throughout this video, and I want to scrape the surface here, but these are things you have to consider. And I think at the end of the day, like I said earlier in this video, you have to ask yourself, how much am I really gonna drive? If, let's say, you want to rent a car and drive for Uber normally, you're gonna be spending minimum about $260 a week. If you go through Lyft Express Drive, it varies. Sometimes it's as cheap as $230 or $240 a week. It really depends. But if you're starting there, you're still starting negative, $230, $240, $250, $260, whatever. And if you drive up to that point in a week, you can be breaking even. Anything past that is profit. When it comes to Uber, like I said, you're really starting way deeper in that hole and way deeper in the red. And especially with all the incentives like I've showed you, when it comes to driving a Tesla, it's going to be way more imperative that you drive significantly more.